but it's through a third party now. We don't get to communicate with the advertiser. And before we kind of knew them, and they were like, "Yeah, cool, put your own spin on it, whatever."
We do. I mean, a lot of people don't realize on the show we get a lot of like sponsors hitting us up, and we do work with a couple ad agencies, and you have to decide what you want to do. Now, there's obviously a lot of people that don't do any ads on their show. We do ads here because this mechanism called Tinfoil Hat is it has a lot of people that make it work. There's like the people on the show, then there's a bunch of people off the show because there's so much going on, and it's just like for one person to cover all that is just, I mean, like, people can complain about the ads on the show, I get it, but just know that we're able to do multiple shows because of what's going on with adding ads to the show. I think that a lot of guys who don't have ads on their show, they do one show a week. We're giving you now 3 the last 2 weeks, and we'll probably start doing 3 on the regular because people want to add on here, and it's just like we're doing that kind of volume.
And you know,
is there anything wrong with that? I ask you guys honestly. Tell me, is there anything wrong with that?
Nope.
No.
What do you mean wrong?
Like, is there anything wrong with like, hey man, we got
money?
a bunch of people want to do ads. Let's do another episode. And you guys get more episodes. And yeah, we load up the earlier parts of the show, but then the second half is like an hour and a half of nothing, of no interruptions. And like, but that goes back to we control it. We decide it. We could turn down ads and we could do all that stuff. It's a bartering system, and that's what this episode's all about. Is like, control your own destiny, man. You can do it.
Now, I will say too, I don't want people to get the wrong idea here. We never get content suggestions from that, and that's what I'm worried the next step is.
Never once had them go, "We'd like you to do a show on that." I will never do that.
Or I'm saying like, "Hey, we didn't like how you talked about X. Will you cut that out in the show?"
We'll never do that.
Never do that.
Never do that.
No, and if that's where we're going here,
we'll never do it.
Yeah, we'll find a different way to exist.
And the other thing is, like, I mean, obviously this podcast is really big. That's why we need an agency. But like for my other little podcast, it's all homegrown. Silver Sands, when it started, we had the chicken place that was so small. When Dave's Hot Chicken, we've had smaller companies, but now we're so big. We got like Manscaped and Athletic Greens. When you go over there, and there's on George Perez, there's a guy that cuts our lawn for an ad read.
I love Jose. He's a good man, dude. What's the name of Jose's?
It's JB Barrios, lawnmower service. He's gonna do. He's gonna do Samsung work. I don't know if he did, but
I'm trying.
Because the Armenians don't roll their R's.
Yeah, we don't. I'm not very good at it. But again, it's all about self-sufficiency and all that stuff. And like, we're entering. People could get like really doom and gloom on this, and like, I hate those episodes because I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
On what? What do you mean?
Just everything. They're doom and gloom on everything. The end is near, social credit scores. I just think that we see what's going on, and it's going to get real hard. And, you know, Johnny, you talked about it later in the show, and I hate to, you know, talk about something that we're about to talk about, but you're like, what's going on with Europe? I'm like, you know, I feel like, again, we get into this whole thing is like, what is the game being played? And have you allowed a certain game to be...
We were talking about Twitter before, right?
Really? Before the show? Okay, I thought maybe we were talking about Twitter.
You were saying that like Twitter Europe is like fighting, pushing back into like Elon Musk buying Twitter.
What do you guys think about Elon Musk buying Twitter?
Reserving judgment. Let's see what he does with it. If he
he's got to bring Trump back. He's got to bring Trump back for me to believe he bought it.
Do you think Trump would come back though? Because Trump has his own platform now.
But I was
Does he use it?
I was talking to Tommy G today, and he's like, he hasn't done anything with it. I think he knew this was coming.
I just sit and stare at us.
I think he knew.
What if he's the one funding it?
Well, my whole question is, where do you think he got the 48 bill?
Well, someone responded. Now I don't know if it's good info.
Someone
but
also
to your,
said under the mattress.
to your post about that, and said and had an outline that it was like financing from Morgan Stanley, you know, backed by, I would assume, his Tesla shares, which is where most of his money's tied up. So if that's true, it's, you know, just you got it from a bank.
So me and Johnny are kind of happy he bought it, at least right now. We're in the middle.
Yeah,
we're kind of in the middle. What would you need to see happen for you to be like, all right, fuck yeah, he bought it?
Listen, man, I always have hope. I mean, you know me, dude. I'm like, he could easily be the Antichrist. I mean, I'm not, and I wish people. I wish you all thought I was joking, but I'm not.
Well, and you know, I will say, I think he's going to bring Jack Dorsey back because one of the first things he mentioned was open sourcing the Twitter code so people can like do their own improvements to it and stuff. And that was Jack Dorsey's big platform when he left Twitter, was like, we got to open source, and a lot of people in the company were against it.
Do you have any belief that Jack Dorsey could be a good guy that just
I
got?
have no idea. Don't know.
What do you think about paying for your blue check mark?
Judge people by their works.
Because if you pay for your blue check mark, that means that's 100% you. So whatever you say, it's going to go
I
back
think
to you.
that's gross.
And the ones without a blue check mark.
Johnny,
But
don't-
no, but you can stay without a blue check mark. No one's telling you can't be not a blue check mark.
You know, it's very weird. It's a slippery slope. But again, I've talked about before. I just feel that like being anonymous on the
Oh,
internet.
well, he's going to get rid of anonymity. Is what he's going to have identity
Yeah, with the
verification.
blue check mark. Yeah,
freaking out.
the blue
Some
check
people are
mark.
freaking
Good.
out.
You should be freaking out. If you
I
talk shit
totally
without your
agree.
name on it.
These shit talking pussies out there being tough guys.
It's a good way to put it. Shit talking pussies. That's right. You're
You
right.
know?
Yeah.
They're just like, hey, dude, you know, I one of the biggest hopes I ever had was when Mike Tyson beat the shit out of that guy.
On the
And
airplane?
everybody
Oh.
was like, yeah, yeah, fuck around and find out, dog. And I thought that was it. That says that people are really tired of what's going on in the internet with people with fake names, fake images, talking mad shit.
Like every time I see those prank videos, I just want that person to get fucked up. I still half the reason I watch, I was like, I hope that fool gets fucked up for pranking people. Because some of those are pretty intense.
I used to watch Punk'd and hope for that too. I remember
Like
that. I was
somebody just
I hope
clock.
Ashton Kutcher just gets his ass.
Seal
beat.
just punches Stephen Azizi in the face. So I have a lot of hope, and you know, it's like you know, today's topic is very important. I think about it all the time. I'm thinking about getting a hold of Jim Gale and starting to have, you know, work on growing my own food. And you know, again, it's gonna be work, people, but that's what you got to do. And I just feel that, like, you know, with all the stuff going on with Disney now, what do you think about that? About Disney losing all of their, a giant chunk of their business? You know, they lost billions of dollars because people are just selling their stocks.
That's wild to me, but I still can't believe that Florida took away their, like, how they were their own country or their own
Yeah.
state. When they did that, I was
Fuck
like,
around
oh,
and
dude,
find out.
exactly. Fuck around and find out. You wanted to sit there and impress the fucking governor?
But just think about that, because when we would see that people would pull their money out, banks would come in and buy up all the stocks to keep the stock up. But it didn't happen this time. And Netflix, Johnny, what's going on? Netflix is still like hurting or has a rebound.
37, negative 37. Did it rebound, Johnny?
I mean, like, this is what we talk about. This is real cancel culture. This is it. This is real cancel culture. When the corporations
No, it's still down.
instantly gets rid of everybody. Look at that, dude. This is real shit.
The last 5 days, 37% down.
And people are gonna find out, man. It's just like this diversity thing went too far. And somebody put, hey, if you guys don't like it, progressives, go start your own. You don't like Elon Musk buying up Twitter? Go start your own social media platform. They can't. There's not enough of them. CNN Plus just found that out. I mean, like, let's take a look at what happened on CNN Plus. CNN Plus started a new service, a live streaming news service, and how many people were doing it? 10,000. 10,000
That's nothing.
in a city. I mean, in a country of
In the world.
300 and what? 50 million people. 10,000 signed up for CNN Plus.
What do you think their goal was? Like, they must have had a minimum goal. What do you think their minimum goal was? 100?
It was 100,000.
I think their goal was to make it big enough to let it go, and then they're gonna be like, yeah, we're just gonna pull CNN off.
See, I don't think that was ever going to happen.
No, I think because CNN's lost its power. It has no power. Nobody's watching it. I mean, Johnny, I know we all loved Jon Stewart back in the day when it was easy to be like, these guys.
See, I never loved him. I
never
like him
liked
more
Jon
now.
Stewart?
No, I thought he did this thing that I hated. He would get into debates with people And then, and he would make fun of people that I like Ron Paul and stuff. But then he would get into debates with people, and when shit got real, he would pull this card out that I hate. He goes, "What do I know? I'm just a comedian,"